Hi everyone and welcome back to Satisfactory 1.2 Experimental. So, this is kind of the closing episode of the streams I have done, and we will just show off some of the factories in the background while talking a couple of things. I just want to give my feedback to how this is feeling, how it went right during playing, and what I'm intending to do from now on. So, let's jump into it, shall we? First and foremost, I absolutely loved my time through the streams. You guys were joining in quite regularly. It was a ton of fun to meet new people and also to just share my initial reactions to the 1.2 features with you guys. And as I said, I had a ton of fun, right? Now, there were a couple of bugs, but that's to be expected, right? We were playing experimental, so that is kind of what I get myself into knowingly, and I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily, because you need to test these things out to find the bugs, and Coffee Stains has reacted quite fast with the initial patch, and I feel like they are on a very good track to make 1.2 stable absolutely amazing, right? Now then, we were playing with random, just the regular random option, which just shuffles around which ore spawns on which location, and I went for mostly pure notes as a little bit of easing that challenge and randomness just a little bit. And I have to say, I think if you get really unlucky with your seed, you might be in need of exploring quite a bit until you find a setup or initial setup place, right? I spawned in the Rocky Desert. I made my way all the way around it, up to the Northern Forest until I found a spot where I was able to set up. Yes, we had some uranium nearby, but at least we had enough copper and iron and limestone nearby to make everything happen that we wanted to, right? And that was fun. That was really fun. Just, it's a different layer of challenge, I guess, in the game. It's awesome to mix up your playthrough, right? Especially if you have done a longer one where you, for example, my 1.0, 1.1 playthrough, right? That I was uploading on YouTube as well. That one took me a long time, which is fine. That's awesome, right? And it was more like figuring out how the game works, what I really need to do, how I want to set up certain things. And now with all that knowledge, being able to jump in and not have everything being the same actually makes a huge difference in enjoyment, I feel like. Yes, it could be tedious and it could be very annoying to find a spot, and once you progress into like tier 3 and 4 where you get your vehicles and stuff, that pressure will fall off pretty much immediately, right? It's cool. I really like it. I think it's a great idea. I think the implementation has been done very well, and yeah, I'm not sure if I will be playing random again, but it's definitely interesting, right? Now, the other options that we had was needing more space elevator parts or buildings consuming more power. Those ones I didn't tick, right? Because I didn't think these are enjoyable for me personally. Granted, they can be very much fun for someone who wants to have that high-end challenge of having to provide more power. I just felt like in conjunction with the randomization, this could be quite annoying, right? So I didn't take it, so I can't give much feedback about that in the way of I haven't played with them. They just, when I read them, it wasn't like, oh, that's gonna be cool, right? So that's basically the only thing that I can say about those. Now then, the next thing is the vehicle pathing for the tractors and trucks, right? I honestly think that is a great addition. It streamlines these setups very well. I hope we will be able to use blueprints with auto-connect with those ones in the stable release. However, setting up the paths didn't take too long, and it was very intuitive to set them up, right? Just creating basically 2 loops for my base, right? With like a couple of stations, and I had a good time doing that, and it worked brilliantly, right? So I think very cool addition and way more enjoyable to play around with the trucks and tractors than it was before 1.2 experimental, right? The daisy chaining is also something that I think is really cool, and I'm debating on if it's too late in the progression to unlock or if I'm fine with it. Would I like to have it earlier? Yes, but I also feel like your initial setups, you can just use the wall mounts or ceiling mounts or even power poles in certain cases, and you will be fine, right? I still think it's an awesome addition and definitely something that I have been looking for, or have been looking forwards to once I read that that was coming, right? So yeah, I think it's also an amazing addition, right? Frees up your buildings in a way that we couldn't do before, and maybe I throw in an example of the daisy chaining in combination with like a power pole at the end on a power setup that I was testing out. That could be a good idea, actually. So yeah, definitely think this is a good addition as well, right? And as I said, it didn't feel like it was too late, but it felt more on the late-ish side, if that makes any sense to you. Hopefully it does. But yeah, I mean, it's just also personal preference, right? I also think we shouldn't have to have it from the beginning. I think it's important to get through these progression phases with, oh, I only have one poles, and maybe I unlock the ceiling mounts or the wall outlets, right? And progressing your factory in that way as well, just so it doesn't get too easy too quickly, right? Now, the daisy chaining makes especially much sense once you're dealing with more buildings, right? When you are setting up blueprints with, for example, like 4 refineries next to one another, and you can't just already daisy chain them, right? Then it makes a huge amount of sense. I got around that before as well, so there are options still, right? So yeah, it might just sit at the perfect spot where you unlock it, so just thumbs up from me regarding the daisy chaining. I don't think it is there is much change needed there. And yeah, I mean, those were the most important things about 1.2 in my opinion. As for the playthrough that we have been doing, this one will just be my testing world, I guess, for the for the experimental stuff. Still, we will no longer stream Satisfactory for the moment. We will start a new playthrough. Now, the thing is, right, I would like to wait with the new playthrough until we hit 1.2 stable, right? Just so you have the even playing field. I know for a fact not everybody wants to jump into stable, and that's kinda where my head's at, right? Also, I don't want to overplay Satisfactory, because the hype still is quite high for me for 1.2, which is good. However, I just feel like it would benefit to wait with the playthrough until 1.2 stable is out, and then I can actually prepare properly and make more like not quite a guided playthrough, right? But just giving you different setups that I think work very nicely for me personally, and if you enjoy them, feel free to copy them, right? In that kind of style, and I might do more of that, yeah, just in in the wait of the stable version. I might just play around with Satisfactory Modeler a little bit more to try to solidify some of the setups that I was testing, right, and just make them work fairly nicely. Also the blueprints and stuff, right? So yeah, that means we will be streaming something else, right? And I do have a couple of things lined up. I do have an awesome project in mind that I need to make sure that I want to post. Not 100% certain yet, so there's still a little bit of thinking that has to happen, but I do have a cool idea for some games that mean a lot to me that I might not have talked a lot about on this channel yet. And yeah, we might revisit some of what I call my classics. And yeah, that sounds fun, right? So I will need a little bit of time to set everything up and to get to a point where I'm like, okay, I want to share this. In the meantime though, Windrose has been launched into early access. My buddy Shark and I are playing at the moment. We are at the very beginning, don't get me wrong, we just started out. And we are learning the game together, which is a lot of fun for us both, right? And we just have to find some times to play together. It's not that easy for us. But yeah, once our schedules align a little bit, we will be playing more, and I might give you guys a first impression video about Windrose in the future. But yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for joining the live streams. I had a ton of fun doing them. As I said, meeting you guys was awesome as well, hanging out and chilling, and thanks for watching this video. That's it for today, and as always, take care. Bye.